First World War is known for the development and deployment of modern mechanized and chemical weaponry. The tank, fighter and bomber aircraft, and poisonous gas. However, when Canadian soldiers arrived on the battlefields of Western Europe in 1915, tanks had yet to be deployed and military aircraft were still in their infancy.
Even machine guns, such a devastating weapon during the war, were often too big and cumbersome to be easily moved around the battlefield and were prone to overheating and jamming.
From the beginning of the war, an infantryman's rifle was a key component on the battlefield, and superior technology could give one side a significant advantage. The Canadians who went into the front lines in April 1915 were armed with the Ross rifle. Typical of its time, it was a bolt-action weapon with a magazine of 5 rounds. Although an exceptionally accurate weapon, it was quickly found to be impractical to the demands of brutal trench warfare. Its long barrel was difficult to maneuver in the tight spaces of a trench, and its intricate and delicate bolt action was prone to jam with dirt. It was not unknown for the bolt to actually fire back into the user's face, not something you want to have happen when you're trying to stop a mass enemy attack on your position. In 1916, the Ross rifle was replaced in the Canadian Army with the British Lee-Enfield Mark III. The first rifle designed exclusively for military needs, its attributes were largely responsible for stopping the German advance on Paris in the summer of 1914. Also a bolt-action rifle, the Lee-Enfield had a number of advantages over the Ross and its contemporaries. Much like the iconic Russian AK-47, it was an incredibly simple and rugged rifle, able to withstand the rigors of modern warfare. Its shorter barrel allowed for greater mobility on the battlefield, while still being able to accurately hit a target at distance. However, it is in its handling while firing we see the real advantages of this weapon.
Able to carry 10 rounds in its magazine rather than the traditional 5, the user can fire for longer before having to reload. Additionally, the tough bolt action stood up to serious punishment during repetitive use, and its close-fitting curved design allowed the shooter to keep his aim while rapidly reloading.
British soldiers were trained to fire up to 30 rounds a minute in the aptly named Mad Minute. In the early engagements of the First World War, when the Germans first came into contact with British infantry carrying Lee-Enfields, so accurate and rapid was their fire, the Germans thought they were encountering a force armed entirely with machine guns. British and Canadian soldiers would use the Lee-Enfield at the battles of the Somme, Vimy Ridge, Passchendaele and the 100-Day Offensive, and the German lines finally began to collapse. Owing to its accuracy, magazine size and reliability, upgraded Lee-Enfields saw extensive service again in the Second World War, this time against Hitler's Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. As demonstrated here in a mission from Call of Duty 3, players can get a feel for its durability and rapid rate of fire, especially when compared to the American, German and Russian bolt-action equivalents available at the time. The Lee-Enfield stayed in frontline service with British and Canadian forces until the mid-1950s, seeing action in the Korean War and during the Suez Canal crisis. In fact, Lee-Enfields can still be found in the service of the Canadian Rangers in Nunavut, an incredible run of over 100 years and testimony in itself to how integral and revolutionary this weapon was for British and Canadian soldiers during the First World War.